Here we are.
Yes, we've made it to the. We're at 2 hours already, and we have quite a bit. I have quite a bit to say about 3. I think.
Three has.
Emo Parker.
Mhm.
uh, 2007, Spider-Man 3.
Peak Humanity 2007.
Yes, directed by Sam Raimi again. It's kind of the black sheep of the trilogy, which is funny because it's like black like a symbiote. Got him.
Are we saying black is bad?
Uh-oh. So what's up with this movie?
It's got too much going on.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of a
some
mess.
really strange writing involving some of the characters and how. Oh boy. I don't know what the fuck they did, what they were. Who
The movie's
is
like
it?
a
The
mess,
same writer? I don't
like
understand.
like
I know the
tonally and
studio
like. Oh, sorry,
too.
what?
I know the studio interference. I guess.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't really know much about the backstory behind this movie, but I seriously doubt this is like Sam Raimi's vision of what Spider-Man 3 is. Especially since the first two are so good.
Yeah, I feel like wait, what the fuck? I thought Danny Elfman did the score for all three.
He didn't do the score for this one?
No.
Hmm.
It's
But
confusing.
yeah, this movie, like, tonally and plot-wise is a mess, but it's still entertaining. Like, I still enjoy this movie. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just, like, there are elements of it that are really stupid. And I don't know, but I still enjoy it. Like, I don't think it's as bad as
Yeah,
people say it is.
it's kind of the weird thing about the movie. I have a lot of like kind of issues with it, but at the same time, I definitely don't mind sitting down and watching it. It's not
Yeah, like,
like that repulsive.
the way people, like, talked about, or the way I've heard it discussed, and, the rating on Letterboxd is, like,
It's
I don't know, it's like,
2.8.
yeah, which is like really low, especially considering the first two are like pretty highly rated. And like just in general, I really didn't have any expectations for it. Actually, that might be what brought down Spider-Man 2 a little bit. Is like because everyone says like it's one of the best superhero movies ever made, if not the best. And so I think I had really high expectations for that one and really low expectations for 3. But like if I were to ever or whenever I rewatch this trilogy, I definitely like watch 3. Like I think it has like some really good like I really like some like maybe like half of the character stuff with like Harry. I think he's an interesting character and doesn't really get much to do for the first 2 movies. And the third one, I like the direction it's going, but then they get put in that stupid amnesia plotline, which is so stupid and unnecessary. Like I don't even like why. It's like I feel like they put that in. Yeah, so basically he's gonna become like Green Goblin Jr. and
Green
go fight
Goblin, I think,
Spider-Man.
is what his name was in advertising stuff.
Goblin, he's nuts. Got
Yeah.
him. And he's like gonna go fight Spider-Man, and then like he's fighting Spider-Man, which is a cool scene. Even though the CGI is like the effects in that scene are like way like it feels a lot wackier. It's like not nearly as good as the first 2 movies for
Like,
some reason.
I don't know if it was. What quality did you watch this movie on? Was it Blu-ray?
Blu-ray, yeah,
I watched it on fucking like a basic DVD copy straight from '07.
yeah.
And sometimes I could not see what the fuck was going on during the action scenes because it was so blurry. It was like a
Okay,
giant
yeah. Yeah, I
CGI
watched it
mess.
in very clear HD. So, but like, yeah, some of the CGI in it, it's just like even though in the first 2 movies, there are parts in it where it's like it doesn't look good or it looks dated. I feel like in the first 2 it works because it's like consistent. And something about it just works as like a kind of throwback vibe for me. But in the third one, it just looks I don't know, it just feels more dated in parts. But like it is a cool fight scene between Harry and Peter towards the beginning. I like that part. But then
It's
like
probably the best fight scene, oddly enough. It's all downhill from there.
yeah, and then like uh, Harry hits his head and gets amnesia, which is like really.
He, like in real life, he would have been fucking done. He
Yeah,
wouldn't have
because
just
he doesn't have superpowers. He doesn't have like the Green Goblin serum, or does he?
I'm pretty sure it's hinted that he does because he has faster reflexes than the only one.
Oh yeah, because he catches a vase.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like even then, in real life, if he hit his head that fucking hard,
Well, this was a movie where there's a guy who turns into sand, so
yeah.
yeah, can't exactly argue with the logic there. But yeah, there's a yeah, it's like he gets amnesia, and then for like a part of the movie, he's like he doesn't remember uh any that or that Peter Parker he thinks he killed his father and they's like swore revenge on him, and then like just a little bit later he like remembers it and then just goes back to like his evil scheming. It's like really like why didn't they just like wait to have the like part later, just have like him confront Spider-Man later in the film, so they didn't have to put in the whole stupid amnesia plotline. Like the parts with like him like going around with Peter, like, oh yeah, we're friends again, it's all good. Like that didn't really add anything to the movie, not really. And like with MJ and stuff, like I don't know. And there's that weird scene where he like threatens MJ and says like, oh, you have to break up with Peter, and she just like goes for it. Like I don't know, it's just weird. Like I don't understand why they messed up that like his whole plotline. But like I kind of like how it comes together at the end. Like I actually think that's like one of the better parts of this movie. Like I actually like that. And I feel like it could have worked better if this script wasn't just such a mess. Or, like the plot wasn't just such a mess.
Um. Yeah, I kind of like. I don't know what the fuck they did here. Just some of the writing seems like it was. What's the word? I don't like fractured almost. Like I feel like they wrote the script and Sam Raimi was happy with it, and then the studio was like, "No, you got to change this to add Venom."
Yeah. Like I feel like they really forced the Venom thing in. I feel like the movie could have worked without that, or not, or it could. I feel like there's two movies here. That's like not actually two full movies. It's just merged into one. There's like the thing with Harry and Sandman, and then there's the thing with Venom. It just doesn't really work together that well.
Venom should not be anywhere in this movie.
Yeah, and
I
like
know they like.
yeah,
I
basically,
guess the studio thought they needed a big banger villain to go out in the third one.
like the
But
Sandman turns into like a giant creature or like a giant Sandman monster. That's like a good like set piece character.
Sandman fits better thematically, also.
Yeah. The one thing about Sandman that kind of bothered me is like it starts off that he's uh okay, so basically it's a guy named Flint. It's a guy named Flint. Get it? Because rock.
Flint
Anyway,
Marko.
and he he killed Uncle Ben by accident, and then he's like trying to get money to for his daughter because she's sick. And then he's like running from cops and jumps over a fence and just fucking falls into like some kind of molecular machine thing.
No,
It's
I
like
don't know what it is,
it's just funny
but
that he just like jumps over like a barbed wire fence and then like 50 feet away is just like this giant like contraption that's like doing some kind of huge test. Like
yeah,
it's just so
after
cheesy to me. Um, and also there's like the scene when oh, and then he becomes a Sandman, and it's such a missed opportunity that when he's first turning into Sandman, and you see it like the sand particles coming into a person, they didn't play "Enter Sandman" by Metallica. Imagine how epic that would have been if they would have done that.
I feel like there's probably a YouTube video you could find on the internet from
Yeah,
like
I guarantee there's like an Enter Sandman compilation video of all the Sandman scenes with that playing on YouTube. But
it's pure corny YouTubeness from like
but
some 13-year-old kid who thinks Metallica's the epitome of badass. Anyways,
so like the thing about Sandman that kind of bothers me with what they do with his character is at first he's like fairly like a sympathetic character. You're kind of supposed to like feel bad for him because it's like, oh, he has a daughter, and that means he's not actually bad, which is kind of cheap. That's like kind of a cheapest justification for anything. It's like, oh, they have kids, but I don't know.
but he
He has
didn't
like a
also
daughter.
use the kill Ben. That
What?
too. He
What?
didn't also like the Ben thing too. Uncle Ben. in him?
Oh, I don't know. It's just kind of odd. He like accidentally shot him for like no reason. Like, okay, I guess. Um, but I just like he's supposed to be like a kind of a I don't know. He's a little bit more, slightly more complex. I wouldn't say it's that complex. That it's just like, oh, he's actually trying to get money for his daughter. But then it's like, then they just use him as like the giant set piece monster, and like,
Yeah.
and like I don't know why he's like, he's even like earlier in the movie, he says to Spider-Man like, oh, I don't want to fight you, just go away. And then like he's like after him like for revenge, I guess, because like Venom's like, we want the same thing to kill Spider-Man, but it's like, why? Why does he care so much about Spider-Man all of a sudden? I thought he was just trying to like rob banks to save his daughter. Like, and then it's just like the giant monster they fight at the end, and I thought that was. Then they have the little thing at the end where he's like, Spider-Man like forgives him for killing Ben or whatever, which is a good scene. But like, I don't know. It's just that they're. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like they were trying to give his
Yeah.
character more complexity, and then they just, especially how when fucking emo Parker like he just like tries to like kill him,
Oh my god.
with the water. I don't know. It's just kind of odd to like actually try and give a character complexity and then just turn him into like, oh, he's a giant set piece monster for no reason. Also, something that bothers me. So like he's like a wanted convict because he escapes from prison, doesn't he?
Yeah, he escaped from Rikers Island.
And like if he, all right, so he's sand and he can form himself into a person and form himself to give himself clothes, right? Because he's not actually wearing clothes. His clothes didn't turn into sand. And then it's like, so why does he still go around looking like himself? If he can turn into a giant like rock monster, why can't he change his physical appearance so he doesn't? So cops don't chase him. Like,
Um, it's interesting you say that because DC kind of has like their own version of Sandman with Clayface, and Clayface does exactly that.
hmm, yeah, because like I don't know, he's going around literally the same clothes they like chased him in. And it's like I don't think he actually has like these clothes on because he's made out of sand. I don't know something
Yeah,
about the
it's like, how did these clothes come to exist?
yeah.
Especially after he's done fucking like melted twice.
Yeah, like I don't. It's not actually clothes. He's just like he must. And like, can he like control the color of it? Is he specifically choosing those colors to
I
wear?
have so many questions now.
I don't know. I
Can,
was
can he elongate his penis with sand? I don't. Can he
what?
use his penis? Does he still have current? I'm sorry.
Yeah, because he is like he can like turn his hand into like a giant hand, so he probably can.
I
Um,
mean, he could probably fucking make a vagina out of his hand.
ooh, free flashlight.
So,
Imagine just imagine like you obtain the powers of Sandman. The first thing that comes to your head is like, ooh, free flashlight.
so boobies if he wanted.
Huh? Yeah. Imagine the porn he could make. Imagine his
Oh,
OnlyFans.
oh,
Hmm. Now we're just thinking like he's a
Sandman.
shapeshifter. Anyway, um, so all right.
Imagine Doc Ock's OnlyFans, man.
I'm just gonna. All right. Now you rant. While you rant about the love triangle, I'm going to look up Doc Ock 34, Rule 34.
So,
Doc
ah,
Ock Rule
fucking
34.
love triangle is so fucking irritating. Um, like, okay, so the whole Mary Jane shit starts with a decision Spider-Man fucking made that it's completely out of character. He shows up at the parade and it's like, kiss me. This is after he saved her, right?
Yeah. And he also
Because
knows her from his fucking Doctor. Hold up. Seriously, just 158 results on Rule 34 for Doctor Octopus? This is
uh,
ridiculous. Get out of here.
um,
My disappointment is immeasurable. My day is ruined.
it seems like such a Toby quote. Um, anyways, fuck, what was I saying? I got distracted.
Gwen.
Yeah, he saves Gwen from that whole Final Destination scene with the crane, which I'm pretty sure people fucking died in that scene, but it's a superhero movie, so you don't mention it.
I also love how so Gwen is like Eddie Brock's girlfriend apparently, and like he
Yeah,
walks up and he's just like, oh look, That's Gwen. Like, he just couldn't give less of a shit that his girlfriend is hanging on a building on the verge of death. He's just like, oh look, it's Gwen.
Oh yeah, and like he walks up next to her fucking father, and he's like, "Who are you?" I'm the fucking what's his name, Eddie Brock, photographer, Daily Bugle,
Yeah, it's like he just couldn't give a
and
shit.
he's just so nonchalant about his fucking girlfriend hanging off the side of a giant skyscraper.
Yeah, fucking Topher Grace, the from the classic film In Good Company.
Um, he's mostly known at this time from the TV show that 70s show.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think of him in that movie In Good Company because, like, when I was younger, I had a thing for Scarlett Johansson, and so I
Oh,
watched like every movie she's in. And
oh,
there's that one called In Good Company, and like for some reason I watched it like twice. And it was like the most blandest, boringest fucking movie ever made. And like, I don't know, Topher was in it, so
in Good Company. It is an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
really,
Yeah,
seriously, fuck Rotten
generally
Tomatoes.
rated pretty high. 3 point. What's it? Fucking Letterbox matters the most.
Yeah, I don't even give a fuck about Rotten
In
Tomatoes. Two
Good
point
Company.
eight on In Good Company. Yeah, it was bad. I just remember like I have it at like 2 out of 10 on Letterbox, not because there was anything horrible
You
about
have
it,
it
but
at
because it was
9.
what?
Oh, yeah, that's 2 out of 10. Not bad.
Yeah, because it's like it's so. If I watched a movie and like within the past like I don't know 3 or 4 years, or actually I may have watched it 5 years ago, whatever. Um, if I watch a movie and remember literally nothing about it, I just think it's like yeah, it's probably so boring that I don't remember anything about it, so I just rate it really low. That's like my go-to rule of thumb.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, that movie sucks. Uh, he was also in American Ultra, which is kind of underrated.
American Ultra. That sounds
The one
familiar.
fucking Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. It's actually like kind of a good movie. It's like it's not
Oh
great,
yeah, I
but
never
it's
saw it,
actually
but I wanted to.
yeah, it's like decent.
Um. Anyways, Peter fucking saves Gwen from the Final Destination shit,
And then for literally
and
no reason, he like kisses her, and I was like, why?
it's fucking for the photographs. Is the only reason he gifts?
Like
But he
if he
knows Mary Jane is right there.
like if he knew, or like if he was becoming emo Parker at that point and did that,
It
it
would
would
have
be
made
like
sense.
yeah, but he's not. He's just being an idiot. Then it's like
And
MJ
then
like says something about it to him, and he's just like, "What? What are you talking about?" It's like he wasn't
I
just he's not a complete idiot just all of a sudden for no reason. Like what?
and fucking it bothers me so much. Also, like it bothered me how fucking long it took Spider-Man to get to the fucking crane thing. Cause he knows about it, and then it like take 20 minutes and like for him to fucking get there. Then he just fuck all the other people they're dying. Just save Gwen
Yeah,
for no fucking reason. I guess cause she's the one hanging out on the ledge more than the other people, but still.
yeah,
Um, and then he fucking kisses her, and then it's like an absolute reversal of the growth Peter has in fucking 2.
yeah. That's pretty stupid plotline to be honest. It's just like it's one of those things that's like it comes about for like no reason. Like I feel like they probably could have done something to make it more, I don't know, better. But yeah, it's like the way it plays out is just like stupid.
Um,
And then he
also
becomes
noticed.
yeah. Sorry,
Weird thing in the Daily Bugle. Also noticed they had like a fucking Charles Manson article on the wall.
oh, he did.
Yeah, I don't remember what it said, but it was a fucking Charles Manson Daily Bugle article on the wall.
Hmm.
Like, okay, kind of out of place. They're on the other fucking side of the world, not world, country.
Um,
Um,
let's see.
what else do I have to fucking say about this
Bruce
piece of
Campbell.
shit?
Bruce Campbell plays a French like waiter guy.
Yeah,
That's probably my favorite cameo from him in this series.
I agree.
Yeah,
He's a
I like
Peter
Bruce
Parker.
Campbell. He's funny. He's
Good
great.
old Peter Parker.
Um, I just have written down in my notes the symbiote turns Peter into a Sigma. He's like going around, just like not taking shit from anyone and
I was
bossing
gonna
everyone
say
around.
he totally should have fucking fucked the neighbor girl at his
Yeah,
apartment.
I thought he was, but like he didn't, and it's like what? Okay, he just like eats some
He
cookies.
should have. I would have.
Yeah, like obviously she's like into him. Like
Why not?
anyway,
You're evil Peter Parker. You fucking everything you see.
yeah, you know what confuses me? So it's like the symbiote requires a host to live. I'm pretty sure that's the Venom lore. I'm not really exactly sure. That's how it is in the Venom movie. But for some reason, it binds to his suit because
That's
like
it works
he.
like that in comics or
Oh, is
something
it
like
because
that.
like with fucking Eddie Brock, it actually goes like, wait, does it just? Yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's just odd because it's like with Eddie Brock, I'm pretty sure it like actually attaches itself like into him because like his when his mouth opens, it's like Venom, and it's like obviously like I don't know. It just bothers me that it's like Venom will like open his mouth and it's like completely like gape wide open, and like it's going way deep into his head, like from the proportion. And then it'll like the like Venom will go or the symbiote will like go away, so you see that Eddie Brock's face. But it's like no, how can that work? How does that physically work if his mouth isn't actually opening? I don't know. That just bothered me.
Now I gotta fucking Google how that whole shit works.
But yeah, he has like the suit. It's like basically like I don't know. I don't know. It just turns him into like a kind of cringy, edgy emo. He like
Okay,
dances. That's like such a good scene.
so
I love that scene. Uh,
in the comics, having damaged his original costume in battle, Spider-Man discovers a machine thought to be a fabric replicator. The machine produces a black spear, which then engulfs Peter in black goo, eventually forming a suit while augmenting his powers and abilities. It's later revealed to be a symbiotic life form. So that's how it happens in
okay,
comics.
okay. I was just for some reason I was under the
More,
impression, at least in the Venom film, the Tom Hardy one, it was like Venom it needs like a human host. So it's like actually like inside of you. It's not just inside like a suit. But yeah, if that's how the comics were, I guess it makes sense. Can't argue with the comic logic. So, oh, and it's allergic to sound for some reason. Like if you make loud noise, it's like no.
yeah, that's definitely a thing. That
uh,
sounds like no, it's a legit thing. Um,
it just feels so out of left field. I mean, obviously there is a church scene when it's like he's by the. It seems like he's just kind of like rejecting the symbiote and he's like pulling it off himself. But apparently it's just because there was a bell, which like I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it would mean more or say more about Peter's character if he like actually like rejected it and like because it's giving him power or whatever, and he's like not.
also,
But it's just like oh, he's standing next to a bell,
and
so it
then
went
Eddie
off.
Brock is there for whatever reason.
Oh yeah,
Because
it's
Eddie is chilling in the church.
yeah, because fucking Sigma Parker when he's being the emo Sigma that he is. We need more of emo Parker. I wish that was like 75% of the movie. But I don't know. Yeah, he's like oh, if you want forgiveness, find religion. And it's kind of funny that it's like the first thing Eddie does, or I think at least one of the things that Eddie does after getting fired, is like go to church and like ask God to kill Peter. Like what the fuck? Like obviously it
Oh,
sets up the whole thing with because Peter's there, like the church bell, like it's too loud for Venom, and then it like drops down onto him or whatever. But it's like really, I don't know. I just feel like this movie is like the first two movies. They have a lot of cheesy moments, especially the first, which I really love. I love the way Sam Raimi uses like cheesiness and goofiness without like it being too cheesy or goofy, if that makes sense. Um, and without like ruining it. But like I feel like those two, that's part of the movie, and the third one, it almost feels like the movie isn't fully in on the joke, if that makes sense. It feels like something more like Daredevil, where it's like there's parts of it that are trying to be like serious, but it just comes off as really like goofy and cringy. Not to bash Daredevil, that's the greatest film ever made, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. The club scene. I
Yeah, what the
like
fuck is that?
hated it so fucking bad. I just kind of blocked it out of my memory.
Yeah, that was a cringe.
Oh my god. Fucking fuck off.
Uh, um,
Also, why the fuck did the butler keep keep the fucking fact that he knows how Norman died a secret for so long?
yeah, why didn't he tell him that earlier? Like, while he was like swearing revenge on Spider-Man. Like,
it, it's conveniently a thing now for him to just conveniently forgive Spider-Man or
yeah.
Peter.
Oh, and just the whole Harry's
I
plot line
didn't
with him
know
having
Spider-Man.
amnesia. And like, then there's that scene when he was like making an omelet with MJ. But like, see, that doesn't really go anywhere. Like, I thought that was gonna be like another like. I was already like, oh, this again. They're gonna like each other, but it's not. He's just like then they do that, and then he like comes after her and like, what is he? He like threatens her and says like something you have to go break up with Peter. I kind of forget why he does that though. Just to like fuck with
Yeah,
Peter, I
that.
guess. I don't know. It's just like the whole Harry thing. It's like I just feel like they kind of. I feel like that could have been like a really good plotline. Like with him, he finally finds out it's Peter, and he's gonna get revenge on him in some like maybe a bit more elaborate way than just trying to fight him. But instead, they give him the whole amnesia thing, and it just throws it off and ruins it. But I do like the conclusion of his character, like how he dies at the end, and they like team
Um,
up. Like I thought that was a good scene or a good sequence.
Aside from like Brock being fucking annoying, why does this Venom not have like a fucking voice? It's just Eddie Brock.
He does talk at several points though. Venom talks, and then it turns into Eddie Brock, and it's like Topher Grace isn't like intimidating anyway.
He's fucking off. Like, yeah, it's not intimidating to see this monstrous Venom, and then Eddie Brock's voice is like, "Hi guys."
What annoys me is like for some reason Venom is like OP, like overpowered, and or like he's really like like he's like beats Spider-Man, but it's like why is it just the Venom symbiote is like powerful at that point enough to overpower him, or because it's like Topher or like Eddie Brock, he doesn't have any like I mean he's not really like I don't know skilled in fighting or like any kind of abilities like that to be able to
It's
like
all the symbiote.
yeah it's like
Just
I don't know it's just kind of stupid. Um,
um,
eh.
and the classic line from fucking Venom. I like being bad. It makes me feel happy.
uh,
Fucking dialogue, man.
yeah, that's top tier dialogue right there. Um,
I don't
well,
even know what to say after this. I'm just.
and
Like,
this is the longest Spider-Man movie, but like honestly, I don't really think it feels like the longest one.
it's longest by like 15 minutes, if that.
Yeah. Let's see, what other notes do I have? Oh yeah, there's a scene when uh, Sigma Parker, I'm just gonna call him that. He like confronts Harry, and he like starts beating him up. And then he like Harry starts fighting him. Then he throws like the fucking Green Goblin exploding ball thing, and he throws it back. And like I seriously thought it just killed him right then, because it's like he throws it right next to his head and it fucking explodes. And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, like
wow,
that would
he
have
just killed Harry. It's like
fucking
what? And then there's like the
murdered
scene right
me.
after that is like the little like emo Parker like montage of him like going around dancing. And I'm like, really? You just killed like one of the main characters? But then like later they just show that it's like it just like burnt his face. But like for some reason, like it's not that long after that happened, and he has like fully healed scars. Like okay, um, and but yeah, I like the I like the conclusion of Harry's character. I feel like that kind of is a good payoff for like what was never really something to be paid off. It's like the first two movies is build up. The first two movies are just kind of building up to him like finding out, and then nothing really happens with that, and then it just becomes, uh, you know, I don't know. It just kind of sucks that that happened because like I do like his character. I feel like they could have done more with it. Um,
Like they build it
but
up, then they immediately throw it away with amnesia, and then they bring it
yeah,
back and then
and it's like
fix it.
they
Like,
didn't even need to do that. If it was like, all right, so if they cut out like the Venom crap and had like the Sandman thing, and then like, oh, I guess without Venom, you wouldn't have Emo Parker. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to build the story around it in some other way, but like, you could have had like planning, um, Harry like scheming against Peter in like some like more elaborate way than just fighting him or something. They don't need to give him amnesia. That was so lazy and stupid. I don't know. It just yeah, that sucks. They like threw that away. Threw away like what could have been like a good storyline. But
apparently, they can. Well, no, yeah, they Sandman and fucking Lizard are in the No Way Home photo, so I guess that means Thomas Hayden Church and Rice Iffens are in the movie. Anyways,
hmm.
that's totally irrelevant to the conversation.
But
I was about to say, I wish I kind of did watch this behind the scenes for this movie, because I want to fucking find out what the fuck happened with the writing.
yeah, I think it's just they probably like I think I heard somewhere that they really wanted Venom to be in it. So they kind of forced that into it. Like the studio kind of interfered with it. I'm not exactly sure though. I haven't really looked into behind the scenes for any of the movies. But I really know this isn't the film Sam Raimi probably wanted to make. And yeah, I don't think I have much more to say about it. I just think it, like, I'm talking a lot of shit about it, but like, I really don't think this is a bad movie. I think that there's really bad writing and there's some really stupid plot lines that just makes it a complete mess. But like, if you look at some of the other films that came out around this era that were superhero, it's like it's still pretty good. Like it's entertaining, and I think it's got like some cool
Well,
fight scenes and stuff. And like it's not like the worst thing ever. You know, like I would say
I
this is like a way better movie than like say like Ghost Rider. You know, even though I really enjoy that movie, I like ironically because it's cheesy as fuck. But like
hate
I would
on
say
this
like this is like
film.
a still like decent movie. I don't.
I feel like people who hate on this film to the level where it's like one of the worst movies ever, apparently, or whatever. I feel like some people have never actually seen a bad fucking sequel.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I would
go
say
watch
like
fucking Hellseeker or Deader and get back to me.
yeah, um, yeah, like yeah, there's some like yeah.
It's not that
Um,
bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
got
like
issues. It's not that
like
bad.
I would definitely rewatch this whenever I watch this trilogy because I think it does have some good character payoff moments and just in general it's entertaining. Like even the parts that are like stupid or cringe, but like you know it still has like J. Jonah Jameson's. You know it still has like you know emo Parker. I think that's great. I mean I kind of wish there was more of that, even though it's like kind of cringy. It's like really funny. Yeah, I don't know. I would give it like a solid 6 out of 10. I think it's like
I
a
would agree that it's a 6 out of 10 for real.
yeah.
I was gonna say I did Googled it real quick. Apparently, Raimi wanted another villain aside from Sandman because his original plan was just Harry and Sandman.
Hmm.
But he was going to cast Ben Kingsley as the Vulture,
Hmm.
but that
Ben
was
Kingsley,
cut.
that would have been
And
interesting.
then producer Avi Arad ruined it and said, throw Venom in there, who he said he felt like the series has relied too much on Raimi's personal favorites and not characters that fans were interested in. So he begged fucking Raimi to write Venom in.
Hmm. I
Oh,
knew it was something like that. That sucks. I would like a Spider-Man 4 by Raimi. That would be cool.
so I mean, maybe we might get something. I don't know. I doubt we ever get anything more, but
This was like what, 15 years ago?
it would definitely be cool if we got like one more movie for Andrew Garfield and Maguire.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
nod.
maybe who knows? Maybe there'll be big characters in No Way Home. Maybe
They're
it'll be like Spider Verse, where it's like
they're
they just
in No
show up
Way
as like
Home.
different versions.
I know that for a fact because you cannot fake some of the photos I've seen.
Yeah,
You can't fake the Daredevil photo I've seen.
they
So they're in
reference
the
emo
movie.
Parker in Spider Verse.
I think fourth Sam Raimi movie would be probably like the most requested thing if anything were to happen with the other two Spider-Mans.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what they would do. I hope they would like do a flash forward like 15 years later from Spider-Man 3, and Peter's a very experienced Spider-Man at this point.
Yeah, actually, maybe there's not that many places to go, especially with like the MJ relationship. Like, I feel like they kind of use that for like
I
all it's
think
worth.
that is where you would go. I think you could kill off MJ,
Yeah, I feel like that would be the only place to go with it. Maybe.
or maybe there's like a Death of Spider-Man thing in there where Spider-Man dies, but Peter Parker doesn't. Again, I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe that'd
Maybe
be
it's a good
decent.
ending for the trilogy. Maybe there doesn't need to be a fourth one.
I don't know. There was originally plans for a fourth one anyway, but it got canceled. So it's not like a fourth one never to exist in the first place.
Hmm. Uh, so what do you think of the trilogy overall?
Overall, it's a pretty solid trilogy for. I think it's one of the better trilogies from the 2000s.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I
it's not
really
really
love it.
a trilogies,
I
but
mean,
better series of movies from the 2000s in regards to superheroes.
yeah, yeah, I really love them. I mean, I think it's even though the third one fell off. I mean, like you said, there's other trilogies that fell off way harder than that. Um, like yeah, I think it's just a really solid, fun. It's just exactly what I like from this type of from superhero movies in general. Like this is what I want out of like a Spider-Man movie and or a Spider-Man trilogy. And yeah, it's just great. I really like it. I'm glad I finally watched it. I'll definitely be revisiting it in the future. Um, but yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. Should we?
I'm just googling a little bit. Apparently, they had discussed the Lizard being a villain with Dylan Baker
Hmm.
being there, John Malkovich for Volter, which would have been cool, and
I like
Anne
John Malkovich.
Hathaway as Black Cat, which would be interesting.
Didn't she play a cat in fucking
Apparently,
Batman
Raimi
3?
later, yeah, she was Catwoman. Raimi later clarified in a 2013 interview that Hathaway would have portrayed Black Cat if Spider-Man 4 had been made, so that's cool.
Hmm.
It wasn't officially canceled until January 2010.
So should we get on to questions?
Yeah, I forgot we were doing fucking questions. Let's
Yeah,
go in.
this is probably gonna be like a 3-hour episode.
Okay. So we have questions. So if you want to ask your own questions, leave them in the YouTube comments if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to on Spotify or any other podcast site, there's a link to the YouTube channel down below. Also, if you want to, you could join one of the Discord servers and ask in a podcast channel because we're always active over there on Discord. So starting off, we have three questions from Van. One kind of a big question, and two like smaller ones.
Dan's the man.
Yeah, shout out Van. If you had to pick one movie that you think was truly groundbreaking, revolutionary, or transform the industry in some way, what would you pick? It doesn't have to be something you even necessarily like, but you can appreciate its impact.
Oh man,
I forgot
The
this question was
Matrix.
asked. I usually like think out my answers for the questions, and I completely forgot this question was in here. So I'll have to think about this for a minute.
For the first time every episode, to be honest, so I get
What?
that fresh, open. I don't think about these questions before.
Yeah, I always like write down answers and stuff before, but
Um,
let me.
you know what? I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but The Matrix definitely had its impact on
Yeah,
film. John Wick also did.
yeah, yeah. Fucking The Matrix. I mean, everything for like maybe like 5 years after The Matrix had, or like at least action wise in particular, always had a little bit of The Matrix in there. Everyone wanted to do The Matrix. I mean, obviously there were like rip off movies like
There's
Equilibrium or something, but
probably
it
two. Sorry, what?
what does?
I was gonna say The Matrix, John Wick, with its modern day action take on action.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely did have an impact.
It was
Let me.
interesting that Keanu Reeves was attached to two of the more impactful movies, action wise, for the film industry. And
Mm,
he's not really seen as a big fucking action star, which, I mean, I don't know why. Because technically, I would never argue that. Actually, no, Stallone is a great actor. Arnold Schwarzenegger, debatable, but my point is, like, he's not really considered as one of the greater action stars.
Yeah.
Until maybe now, John Wick.
Yeah, it's odd because The Matrix. Like, I feel like that would have made him like solidified him as like an action star, but like not really.
He kind of just disappeared after the Matrix
Yeah.
3.
I would say like Star Wars. I mean,
Star Wars,
love it or
yeah.
hate it, definitely changed the way uh film was. I don't know.
Um, it changed the landscape because films, I don't know how to word it. Like, I know how it did things, but like, I'm trying to fucking word it right here. Because films went less. Okay, so like in the 70s, films were less. I don't know how to fucking word it. They weren't as high concept as Star Wars was. They
Yeah.
didn't really go out there a lot before Star Wars came.
Yeah,
And this
I
fucking little kind of mediocre sized budget movie.
Yeah, it kind of invented like the blockbuster. Did it invent the
Yeah,
blockbuster? Yeah.
it pretty much invented blockbusters. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about it in another episode when we answered a question that was Star Wars related. But even though they've been like talked about and done to death, Star Wars, I'd kind of like to do an episode on them at some point because like those are like huge nostalgia for me.
Sure. And we probably have to like split them up into threes
Yeah, we could
or
do like
fours.
by trilogy. Yeah, or
Because
just
we
do
have
like a 10-hour episode. Talk about
we
every Star Wars
have
property.
the original trilogy, the prequels, and the sequels, and then we have the spin-offs,
Yeah.
which is just two of them, I think. Solo and Rogue.
I would say Blade Runner
Rogue
was very influential. Definitely changed the way for like cyberpunk and
we're forgetting I'm not forgetting it, but Scream kind of
oh yeah,
reinvented 90s horror, kind of
yeah,
reinvented horror at that point because horror had been dying out, and then Scream comes along and slashers. The two like slashers are a thing again.
yeah. That like defined like the late
The
'90s,
teen
early
slasher.
2000s teen slasher. I mean, everything was like that. Yeah. Um, let's see, what else was there. I'm just looking through like most popular movies of like different decades because like a lot of them are like very
I
influential
know
from like
this movie
50s,
gets
60s.
so much flack, and it's probably going to be brought up in movies and more, but Avatar.
I'm so indifferent to Avatar.
I
I
am
just
too.
do not care.
It exists.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, Van did even say, even if it's not something you necessarily like, but yeah, Avatar, yeah, that definitely had an impact. But like, I just don't give a fuck about that movie. Like, it's a
Iron
movie.
Man.
It's like 3 hours long, and it's like I remember like three scenes from it. Honestly, like, I just don't care.
Iron
Um,
Man
Iron
is
Man, yeah,
very control.
yeah. I mean, hell, that started the whole like universe thing of like a connected universe of movies, which was trying to be replicated by other DC fucking what was it, the MonsterVerse.
That's the
Rip the MonsterVerse.
Saw is pretty impactful.
Oh yeah, I mean, I hate the term, but it started the whole torture porn genre thing. Not really. I mean, okay, I'm just gonna rant about this, even though I've ranted about it before. But like, torture porn existed, you know, way before Saw. I mean, what I consider to be torture porn is like guinea pig, where like there's literally no substance to the movie
Stuff
other than like gore.
from like the
Uh,
70s, I'm pretty sure. It's like Cannibal Holocaust
that's
in a way.
not torture. No,
It's
that's not
not
torture
good
porn.
for it, but
No.
like there's movies from that
Yeah, like
era.
just like yeah. I mean, yeah, there's stuff like was made just to be like shocking and stuff. But yeah, that Saw definitely like kind of gave it a new for like a new generation of like it's almost like modern day like I don't know. It's stuff like it's stuff like Hostel, Collector. I mean, it inspired some good horror films.
Trying to
Yeah,
think
what
of
else is there?
something more modern, maybe. I don't know. It may be too early to tell for some of these films. their true impact on the industry. I think we've covered quite a few of the big hitters for the
Yeah.
last decade or so, 2 decades. The Dark Knight kind of brought back, I mean, not brought back, but started this whole trend of superheroes can be serious and gritty and not good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like one
Um,
of the uh yeah.
uh, Black
um
Christmas. Well, yeah, Black Christmas and actually no, we'll go to the very beginning.
fuck yeah. Yeah.
Psycho, TCM.
Pulp Fiction. I mean, that kind of there's so many Pulp Fiction wannabes after that who wanted to do the same like non-linear stories and that same capture that same gritty tone, or like
I
not
think
gritty, that same type of tone, but just yeah, that's definitely a very influential film. Also, two more questions from Van. How many elephants are there in the Elephant Man? There's about as many
two.
elephants in the Elephant Man as there are in an elephant sitting still. So,
Okay. My answer: the only elephant in the film is Anthony Hopkins' dump truck ass. Case.
also, do you prefer fragranced or unfragranced lube? It's like a good
Um,
like strawberry chocolate lube. You know?
if you don't smell like lavender and pine or whatever, I don't want it. I don't know. Talking out my ass.
Okay, let's see. What other questions do we got in here?
Eric,
Um, Eric. Shout out Eric. He was on the podcast last
last
episode,
week.
and it was great. So go check that one out. What is the movie / director that got you into film as a whole?
Oh
I
my!
feel like we kind of talked about this a little bit in an earlier episode, but we can
I
kind of
just
go over it.
answered in a very um kind of simplistic way. Okay, so like first of all, one of my favorite directors as like a child was kind of J.J. Abrams. So I think that's kind of about the point I started paying attention more to film. Then I discovered Scream, which got me into horror. And then for like a third bookmark would be Tarkovsky and Stalker. Kind of set me onto the mega world of like mega kino.
Yeah, yeah, like art house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
would say, oh man, this is such a, I hate to say normie, but it's such a popular answer. But like a lot of teenage cinephiles, Pulp Fiction definitely was one that really, I don't know, just like, I just watched it and I was like, wow, this is like a movie that like, it's really like, it's doing
different.
something that's, yeah, it's different. It's built different. But yeah, that's definitely one of Baby Driver, Edgar Wright film, or Edgar Wright's Baby Driver. That really it made me realize that editing is like a thing that's cool. Just because of some of the sequences in that are like edited to the beat of music. Plus, it's just like such a great film. Taxi Driver, my favorite film. That's another one that just kind of made me think like, man, this is like what like cinema can be. This is like this is like something that it's more than just like, oh, it's like a fun movie. It's like, man, I don't know what else is there. Lars von Trier was definitely the director that got me into like art house stuff, both Antichrist and Nymphomaniac. I kind of forget which one I watched first, but they both they were like the first like real like art house movies I watched, and yeah, they just really I don't know, it just kind of opened up this whole new genre of like artsy or art type movies that are like I don't know. I need to rewatch Nymphomaniac. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but that's about it. I mean, there's other movies, but like those are probably the most like important ones that like really got me into. Also, like Star Wars. I mean, that was like what I watched all the time as a kid. But like I would say, like that's just something I like grew up with. It wasn't so much something that like started me into like really being like into movies.
same.
Yeah. Uh, let's see.
Next question.
Yeah. Cordial Cudgel. Cordial Cudgel. Cordial Cudgel. Favorite third part of a trilogy. This is kind of a tough one because, like, usually third movies in a trilogy.
Okay. So I got the obvious answer here. Star
Spider-Man
Wars
3?
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. So the funny thing about Revenge of the Sith is when I was younger, I would always watch Star Wars. My parents thought it was too dark, like too heavy for me to watch. So I never watched that one. Like it was like years until I finally watched it. And so like I didn't really grow up with that one as much. But it is good. That's actually like Attack of the Clones was always my favorite as a kid. But that is like definitely one of the better ones of the prequel trilogy. Let's see. Army of Darkness, I would say, is like
Yeah, Army of
probably
Darkness
my
is
favorite. I
also
mean,
my
it's been a long time
favorite.
since I've seen Evil Dead 2, but yeah, it's probably my favorite out of the Evil Dead trilogy. I don't know. It's kind of a tough question. Return of the King is great. Lord of the Rings, even though I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, and Two Towers is probably my favorite. But it's a really good third movie. Fuck, I just realized that.
Unpopular opinion, but Back to the Future 3 is mine.
Yeah, that's definitely my least favorite out of that trilogy, but it is fun. Fun.
Um,
Three Colors Red is a really great film, even though
I
blue
think
is my favorite.
pretty sure like the answers I'm gonna actually a nightmare actually no. Nah, no man. Let's go next. We skipped Eric part 3 question.
Oh, yeah, just one more thing about the trilogy thing. There's a lot more answers I can give, but like none of them are films that I think are my favorite out of the trilogy. Even Three Colors Red and Revenge of the Sith, I wouldn't even say those are like my favorite of the trilogy. They're just good third movies. Yeah, I don't think there's like a single like third movie of a trilogy that's my favorite, at least that I've seen so far. Maybe definitely 50 Shades Freed. That's my final answer.
Okay. Next.
Okay, next. Oh yeah, I think we missed one from Eric. Do you think other directors should reach out to other genres like Raimi did with Spider-Man, and what directors? Yeah,
Sure.
I think that's definitely interesting when they do something that's not the usual. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd love to see like a
Tarantino should do a horror movie.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, definitely, that'd be great. I mean, I guess Death Proof's kind of a horror movie, but it's like more of like exploitation, like type
Yeah.
thing. It's not horror.
Um, who else kind of just sticks to one kind of thing and could
Um,
break out to another genre that's oddball?
I'd love to see like a weird genre from like Wes Anderson, like something like I don't know, it's like a sci-fi movie from Wes Anderson,
A
something like that, or like a
sci-fi thriller.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, something that's like a or like a say like a noir film from Wes Anderson. That would be really cool, actually.
Um,
Um,
actually, I think Guillermo del Toro would actually make an amazing kind of like comedy family film.
yeah, actually, probably would. Um,
He does so good with his fantasy elements. I think he could pull it off pretty well.
yeah. I can't really think of any good answers for that question. That's another one I kind of overlooked.
Um,
I'd love to
uh,
see like a animated kids movie from Michelle Haneke. That'd be funny.
more like serious directors doing kids films would be interesting.
Yeah, Gaspar Noé. Did it fucking I want to say Tim Roth, but that's not it. What the fuck is his name? Eli Roth. Didn't he make like an animated kids movie?
He made the clock with a house with a clock in its walls, which is a kids movie.
Yeah, that's odd. Since his whole thing is like
Horror and torture
yeah,
porn
yeah,
and gore.
and fucking knock knock. Is that all for questions? I think we got one more. All right, got one more from The Sun is Bright off YouTube. We never really get questions on YouTube, so shout out The Sun is Bright. If your life was a movie, what existing movie would it be? This is kind of a variation on last episode's. Last. Someone just joined the fucking call. Nah. Kind kind of a version of last episode's question where we were asked what.
Who would play you in a movie?
Yeah, but what existing movie? What's a movie about like a fucking movie nerd who is miserable?
Good fucking question. I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
I do not know. I don't know if that kind of reflects me as a person.
Literally the Joker. I'm literally the Joker.
Oh, wow.
How about Fight Club? I'm literally Tyler Durden.
I really don't have an answer for this. I've never thought about something like this.
Sorry.
You should not be too hard. Don't worry about it.
How about like, what's like a movie about someone who's like extremely average, and then they become something cool? Oh, Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man before he gets cool. I don't know. What's like a? I can't think of like a movie that's just. Benny's Video. I don't know. What about a movie about like someone who's like, oh, I know, My Friend Don. Fuck, I don't know. You got any more answers or?
Super bad, maybe.
Oh yeah, sure. Fuck it. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I feel like if I was in more of that situation of Superbad, that would literally be what I'd be doing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I kind of used to do some of that stuff when I was in Georgia, but maybe not to the degree of like fucking getting alcohol or anything. But I did some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal. Nothing illegal. I enjoy you, but nothing illegal. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think that's about it for questions.
Yeah. End the episode. Goodbye. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So next episode, we will be talking about some older films. Fucking hold up.
Kino.
Yeah, some vintage Kino, which we haven't gone too far back yet. Not really.
Oh, this would be like the first episode where we have a film that's dissolved.
So we'll be talking about both Nightmare Alley from 1947, especially also since that new one's coming out. Just kind of that's not really related. We're not going to talk about that, but yeah, shout out that. And Carnival of Souls from 1962. So yeah, a little bit of classic Kino. So that'll be out next week. If you listen to this entire episode, you're a fucking legend because this is definitely going to be over 3 hours long. And yeah, leave your own questions down below. Check out the YouTube channel and
see ya. Pizza time.